I'm upright. I'm up, right? Standing somehow, can't feel my feet, just sinking and sand, sinking to stand, measuring time by the pace of sweat tracing streams from my armpit to my waistline. How long has it been now? I can't feel my feet. Is this a problem? Did I already say that? Did I already feel that? Or is it my fingers I've lost track of? Rubbing the pads together, seeking texture, feeling on feeling, body on body contact so I can locate myself here in this pot. Breathe. I'm supposed to be standing. Am I still standing? This pot holding me up. I bear the weight and I am sinking, and I still can't feel my feet. My right knee buckles, my right shoulder drops, and I fear I'm fucking up the photo, so I smile and try to shrug an apology. No one notices, gesture fails in the pot. Seems there's no way to signify regret. Can only try to stand here. Someone adjusts the light, a hot beam bounces off my forehead and rests on my third eye. Third eye. My grandmother would laugh at that. Your third eye, you mean the softness between your eyebrows? We have other names for the things we know and hold and move with and through, a sensorial terminology whose meaning is felt, that type of knowledge that can't be performed. So I allow the light to melt the softness, to melt in the softness, and I try to do that thing we call surrender, and it feels heavier than holding myself up, right? Parting my cracked lips and swallowing dust, sand at the back of my throat, shine in my eyes, memory shading the base of my skull. I make the sounds to ask for water and watch my arm extend in front of me. No, impossible, the pot can't move, captive. There is no sound, I am invisible. If it's not my arm I see, it must be desire. Hazy, formless, shifting with each blink, both buoyant and leaden, this longing of floating anchor, something that can't be, won't work. So I'll settle into this familiar, longing, I am here and not. The throbbing at my low back is steady, slow, and mean. It reiterates in my hip where its sharp staccato makes the argument, you have no space here. If only there were 3 more inches, even if just on one side or under my feet, I still can't feel, but there is no space here. No home space, no shapes to shift, no community of care, no wellness checkers, no self-care advocates, no cultural workers, no radical healers, no allies, no transnational intersectional feminists, no Afro-pessimists, no Afro-futurists, no benefactors, no GoFundMe, no iFix Flex to post, no sweet story to save for later. The pot snatches my breath and sends my heartbeat to my eardrum. It starts and ends here in my body, the somatic knowing that emerges from our confinement. An amorphous web of feeling that quickly moves like fallen dominoes to numbness, punctuated by pain that dissolves to ache. And then something else. Alone here in a full room, not just captive but isolated, because that's the point. A death, slow for sure, but more than that, lonely. Babylon calls, response non-white and woman. I can't make this up, at least not on my own. Here with my inhale choking my exhale, impossible to self-actualize without breath. And anyway, this bridge requires a collective passing. No air here, but oh, so much beauty. Lack of oxygen creates stunning images. They float before me. The women arriving with the girls at their backs. These girls, the one from down the street who's too young to always be left home alone. The cousin's child who came to stay for a while after the incident no one talks about. Their daughters, their younger selves. The women are here with the girls at their backs. encircling the pot as if drawn to a campfire, acknowledging the heat rising from the soles of my feet I still can't feel. What are they holding in their hands and now tossing in the air? Shards of light? No, slips of paper falling like leaves in the fire. Field notes. Notes from the field to be revised in a pot, edited from within this different kind of disciplinary enclosure. I can't make sound, it seems, but can hear. And these voices I know so well rush at me in waves, reading from my notes before the pages curl and wither in flames. First, Lydia. Put this in your notes, write it down. Are you recording? Said even as she sees a pen in my hand and the numbers ticking upwards on the recorder. I am recording, but hesitant, since her usual refrain is, don't write that down, turn that off, I am not a field note. And then Tamra, how you spend your whole entire life listening to Black women, your actual job is listening to Black folks, and you still gotta write shit down? Feel this. Jocelyn takes her turn. This, right now, we are living in is our past that can only be made right by a challenge from yet to come. And we're the only ones who can see this future in the present because we have always lived at the crossroads. At the crossroads, time and space have the meaning we give them because we're time travelers. And that's what time travelers do, baby. You know that. And then Tamra again. Our activism is living. Breathe. These women from Cincinnati, Ohio, my hometown, which turns out is also my most recent field site, prefer the word agitators to activists and are convinced the work they do is the work anyone would do, well, anyone who loved Black people. Up south, the most northern, southern city at the crossroads, border town. Cincinnati is also a river town situated on the Ohio running along its southern boundary. My textbooks from first grade through junior high supported the thesis advanced by my teachers, which argued that Cincinnati was historically a progressive city invested in freedom and equality for all. The evidence provided to corroborate this theory was the fact that crossing the Ohio River from the southern state of Kentucky and arriving in Cincinnati meant that one had entered a free city in a free state. Thus, the Ohio River was the portal to freedom and Cincinnati, the promised land. The river takes form in and through the life that resides within and along its waters. But the river is also given life through the meaning attributed to it and the stories told about it, how it has been witness and in most cases accomplice to the sustenance, exhaustion, transformation, and termination of life. Over time, Black folks have worked along the riverbanks and crossed it to find protection or escape or a different type of labor that didn't necessarily mean the end of life, even as so many lost their lives in the crossing. Lydia, Tamra, Jocelyn, these women and so many other Black women like them symbolically cross and recross the river in every action they take to secure their investment in the liberation of Black people in Cincinnati. And as they do, they move between the conceptual tropes of freedom and captivity, but most often reside in the spaces where these ideas overlap and take nebulous form as emotions that have no articulation and ideas from the future that are reminiscent of a past that persists in the present. Even time travelers long for something. The flow of the river's water laps at the banks where it changes the land. Soil, silt, sand, water to land. Soil, silt, sand, water to land. Soil, silt, sand, water to land. The labor of crossing can only be assessed with the naked eye and critical mind as a physical movement across space and a certain linear understanding of time. But for Black women in Cincinnati and everywhere, M. Jackie Alexander reminds us, crossings are never taken all at once and never once and for all. As they move through the city, these alluvial Black women change the landscape, transferring and depositing soil, silt, sand, carving space to form shallow pockets of possibility. Alluvial processes are never all at once or once and for all. Grains of sand irritate the thin skin between my toes. I can feel my feet. The girls move first, leading the way out, the women at their backs. I am no longer alone. The shimmering residue of that visitation hovers over my head like a cloud pregnant with rain, gloriously dark, heavy, and certain to fall. Maybe a sign that space, air, breath, life will follow. Won't you try with me here, right now at this crossroads, this crossing, that makes this here and this now, however deeply felt or not, our collective hallucination in the pot? Can we practice tracing an embodied geography, new and as dynamic, alterable, and unknowable as the wind? Not oppositional because that which might be opposed is too cynical, lifeless, and unimaginative to be a stand against. Can we start here? Will you join me in practice, a meditation from beyond our pots? Can we start here, y'all, for real? Can we start here? Can we darken the room? Is that possible? And can we invite in stillness? Maybe quiet, if not silence, but a quiet. And wherever you are, seated or standing, can you come into a feeling in your body that allows you to feel your feet touching ground? And with your feet connecting to earth, through your shoes, to the ground, to the soil below, can you then feel your seat in the chair or your spine long? And from here in this quiet, can you sense everything that grounds you? Both tactile, feet on the floor, seat and seat, spine and back of chair or along a wall. But also breathing in all those other supports we can't feel viscerally, but sense through our skin. And from here, that most aggressive sense sight, can we allow it to shade? Eyelids heavy as with sleep. So closing your eyes or just allowing them to lower, soften gaze, hazy gaze. And from this place of grounding, that aggressive sense of sight softened to attune to different ways of perceiving. Can you feel yourself in this space right now? Can you feel your body in this space right now? And as if you've never, ever heard the word breath or breathing, Can you become so curious about what it might be, what it could feel like? Every time you take an inhale, feeling the traveling of that air through your body. Notice where it enters. Notice what it expands. Notice where it can travel to make space. Filling up on this force of life. Every time you meet and exhale, let it soften something. And can you stay here in the quiet, loving your breath? Can you stay here in the quiet, just allowing yourself to be? Can you feel those feet on the ground, connecting to earth from here? Let the breath emerge and travel all the way up your body to the very crown of your head. Let the exhale travel from the crown of your head all the way down your body to the soles of your feet. Tracing this line of love and energy and life from feet to crown on your own. Pacing your breath with the beat of your heart. Feel yourself. Maybe so quiet, so still here, you can hear your heartbeat in your ears. And if you still feel you can't come close to your heart, place your palm over your chest until you can feel the beat in your hand. Heart, the place of care. Breathe it in. I'm trying to stay deeply connected to this closeness to yourself, to this alignment to space, to our collective breath. Through the rest of the day, through the days to come, to the weeks and months ahead, return here. In movement through stillness to movement, stay here, breath and heartbeat. And if your eyes are closed, and slowly come back with a sense of sight to this reality, this here, this now, however deeply felt or not, through breath and heartbeat. This meditation is dedicated to Simone Leigh, who teaches all of us how to breathe in a pot. Thank you.